we have been seeing such amazing content coming from the speakers involved in the Pet Summit that we are all learning something from the videos that are coming in. The four of us, yes, we do consider ourselves to be experts on many topics. However, we always have a lot to learn. And we're learning from some amazing people at this summit who are more experienced than we are, but are teaching us as well as our ticket holders some awesome stuff. So every time I get a new video and I'm watching it just to, go over it, I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. Or I'm so excited to learn about this. So I think all of the classes really have a lot to offer people.
Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic. As a dog mom lifestyle expert, blogger, and business owner, I love talking to other women in the pet industry and sharing their advice with you every week. Sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode. In this episode, I am getting the inside scoop on a new virtual pet influencer conference coming up October 24th and 25th. The Pet Summit, presented by Great Pet Media, has over 100 speakers from all over the world and all areas of the pet industry. I got to chat with two of the co-founders and organizers, Chelsea Evans and Paige Chernick. They talk about why they wanted to host a virtual summit like this, why it's important to represent diversity at an event like a virtual conference, and many of the educational sessions, panels, and live talks that will be happening over the weekend. They're also doing a ton with animal rescues. So listen to learn about the 4 organizations that will get a portion of ticket sales and sponsorships. I'm actually teaching 2 sessions during the summit myself, and I have a special promo code for you to get a discount on your ticket. Use WWR15 to get 15% off at thepetsummit.com. When you do, please send me a DM at Wear, Wag, Repeat, and I will know that you're in my Pet Summit pack. Chelsea Evans and Paige Chernick are 2 of the 4 founders of the Pet Summit, a first-of-its-kind educational conference to connect pet influencers, bloggers, startups, and rescues. Chelsea is the co-founder of Gal's Best Friend, a chic site for modern-day dog moms, a full-time content creator, editor, and social media manager for the pet industry, and she frequently travels the U.S. to connect with growing pet lover communities. She is passionate about giving a voice to pets who deserve a natural way of healing emotionally and physically. Paige is an entrepreneur living in New York City. In 2013, she started her own social media company called Paige Knows First. She is in charge of social content and strategy for many brands, several of them within the pet industry. Paige's dogs, Charlie and Sawyer, famously known as their Instagram handle at Puppy Named Charlie, are both rescues and have accumulated hundreds of thousands of fans on social media. The Pet Summit is more than just a conference. They are bringing together a community of influencers that collaborate instead of competing, and cheer each other on while building a life they love around pets. It's for influencers by influencers. Hey guys.
Hi, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. I've known Chelsea for years. We've met in person several times, but this is my first time really meeting you, Paige. So tell me, how did you guys get to know each other and get involved in the Pet Summit?
So I feel like we are still getting to know each other. Megan Rose, known as New York City Dog Mom on Instagram, she introduced us, and we're just kind of forming this friendship through Instagram and our dogs, and it's a journey.
It's amazing the people that we meet through our dogs' Instagram accounts.
I would say most of my friendships have occurred because of my dogs.
I would definitely agree with that. I have met so many people, especially here in New York City, who I have just become best friends with through my dogs or through Instagram. And we've realized we have this connection that maybe has nothing to do with our pets at all. And we've maintained friendships over the last few years.
It's really cool. I feel like for years I've gone to like my local dog park and talked to people there, and I've talked to them for years and I don't know anything about them. Really. I mean, we talk every single day, but I couldn't tell you their first name. And I feel like Instagram is like the giant dog park of the internet. Like you can just connect with people and make friends, but you like maybe don't know what they actually do for a living.
I agree with that. I probably know more about the dogs than the humans in all forms and aspects of it.
Yeah, me too, for sure. So the Pet Summit, this is the first year of it. And I know that you guys initially wanted to do it in person, but because of 2020, it is now virtual. But that's kind of awesome because now people from all over the world can tune in, and, it's a lot more affordable than having to travel to a place to go to it. So that's really awesome. And the main demographic that you kind of catered this to is millennial pet parents. Why is that the group that you chose to focus on?
Yes, so definitely our target audience will be millennials. However, we do have a lot of people who are participating and who have already purchased tickets who are not necessarily in the millennial bracket. The reason we are targeting millennials is because from all of our experiences working with different people on Instagram, different content creators, and different pet owners, we find that most of them are between a certain age range, and that age range is really computer savvy, really tech savvy, trying to grow their social media following, and they really have a passion for this. So that's why we're targeting that audience, in addition to all being millennials ourselves, which is a big deal. However, a lot of the brands we're working with, they have audiences of every age range. So it kind of brings everyone together, but we do have most of the audience being a millennial audience.
Well, and I think that millennials in general, this is kind of a generalization, but we are prone to treat our pets like our children. So, I think that the pet industry in general, they look at the millennial demographic, and it's just like this really juicy group of people who love pets so much and are willing to like do anything they can to give their pet a really amazing life.
I agree with that. I think even if people do have kids, because I'm one of like the handful that I know that have kids and pets, and I'm still just as obsessed with my dogs as I was like before children.
Yeah.
I'm living proof that it's possible that you could be obsessed with both.
I love that. So I know that both of you guys are pet influencers. Like you said, this summit is for influencers, by influencers, which is really cool. A lot of times we see conferences that are maybe hosted by big brands or hosted by like a big media company, and they don't really know what it's like to be, down here on the ground floor as a pet influencer. So one of the things that I know the Pet Summit is about is kind of connecting pet bloggers and influencers with pet brands and startups and rescues and maybe even just like people who we admire. So do you guys have any advice, like as influencers yourself, on how to approach brands or people that you want to work with?
I was going to say that this is one of the classes that we're teaching on because we have experience on both sides. So we have a really cool class that has already been recorded for everybody. And we have a lot of good intel on what brands are looking for based on like what our experience has been. We have like a panel that is called the Do's and Don'ts of Influencing. And that's going to be with some of the leading companies in the pet industry. That way we give people an overall look at what they're looking for. And it's not just one, like, it's not just dog food. It's not just dog toys. Like we have people from all over the pet industry that are giving a whole bunch of great advice. So we're excited for that.
Paige, did you have anything to add to that?
Well, I was going to say that we just recorded our class. So you're going to learn from all 4 founders about building relationships with brands, but also maintaining those relationships. So I think one of the really cool, unique aspects of the Pet Summit is that you're going to hear from influencers and you're going to hear from brands about the same topics. So you will learn from both sides and get really good insight on how to partner, how to maintain partnerships, and where to go after that.
I think that's so important. I have been on both sides of the equation as well. And I think like that's kind of a unique perspective. And it gives you like a whole new view on like what you're doing and why you're doing it. So I think that'll be really beneficial to a ton of people. So speaking of like having tons of different brands from like toys to food to pet care to like all over the place in the pet industry, another session that you're hosting is about diversity and inclusion in the pet industry. And that can mean a lot of things. You know, it can mean a diverse range of brands from small little startups to big brands. It could be, people of diverse backgrounds and from all over the country, men and women, but also like different kinds of pets. I mean, there's like so many different directions you can go with this. So can you tell us a little bit about that session and why it was important for you to do that this year?
I think it was especially important to do it this year. It's always something really important to talk about, but this year more than ever, we're going to be covering it all. We're going to be covering how brands need to include more people and more types of animals. We're going to be talking about from the influencer side how they have experienced different hardships this year based on either their race, the type of animal they have, where they live, where they're from. We have opened up the list of topics to the panel, and we want to hear from them what they're interested in talking about. And on social media, we have polled our audience, and we've asked our audience what they want to talk about as far as diversity and inclusion. So we have a broad list of topics, and it's really just going to be an open conversation between the panelists that we've selected. However, we do know that there are many important topics such as Black Lives Matter that need to be covered, and people want to hear about them from the people that they follow. So we will be covering all of that.
Well, I'm really excited about that session. That's probably the one I'm really looking forward to. Back in June, I did a blog post about Black women in the pet industry that everyone should know. And I started the list with like 20 women, and I grew it to like, now there's over 31, and I even included men at the end, even though I'm like all about girl power. I was like, this is the time to kind of open up the doors a little bit to include more people. And that's been one of my most popular posts this year. So I think that people, are more aware of, supporting Black-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses, and are really interested in like how to be an ally through their pet's account, because our pets have a lot of sway in the world. So, people just, I think, are kind of unsure of how to handle it and don't want to like rock the boat. But I'm excited to see what your panel has to say. My favorite thing about my online shop is finding new dog mom makers to partner with on exclusive collaborations. This fall, I added 3 new dog mom brands to the Wear, Wag, Repeat shop. Their items are all handmade in the USA and inspired by their own dogs. Get your paws on our limited edition pink Wag the Vote bandana. It is very Elle Woods. Or try out a new all-natural paw balm, tasty organic treats, or our signature fall favorite, the Wet Noses candle that's made with dog-safe ingredients. Since you're a podcast listener, I'd love to share a special promo code just for you. Visit shop.wearwagrepeat.com and at checkout type in podcast to get 15% off your first order. That's shop.wearwagrepeat.com, promo code podcast. So that's what I'm excited about. But I want to know, what classes are you guys most excited about? Chelsea, is there one that you're super pumped about?
I have a couple that I'm really excited about. So we do have a photographer that's coming in, and they're going to talk about like the basics of photography and Photoshop and Lightroom. Sorry, that was one of the dogs in the background. Anyway, so I want to have like a better relationship with my camera instead of my phone. And so I just feel like upping my photography game is going to be one of the things that I focus on this year. And then the other one that I'm really excited about is the diversity panel also, because I feel like I haven't been very like involved in the Black Lives Matter movement. And just hearing from people with diverse backgrounds. And so I want to be more involved in that. And this is kind of like my opportunity to really hear the voices of the people that I'm working with, like behind the scenes and stuff. So that's what I'm excited about.
Awesome. How about you, Paige? Is there a class that you're looking forward to the most?
So I'm really excited about the rescue panel because, first of all, I'm really passionate about rescue and fostering. And we have some really great speakers on this rescue panel. We're going to be talking about using social media for a purpose. And I think over the last few years, it's really changed the way people use social media to fundraise, to call attention to certain causes, to bring awareness to different rescue organizations. If we didn't have social media, I don't think we would be as informed. So I think it's really important to talk about that. And one thing that all four of our founders have discussed, especially over the last few days as our classes have been coming in from the speakers, we have been seeing such amazing content coming from the speakers involved in the Pet Summit that we are all learning something from the videos that are coming in. You know, the four of us, yes, we do consider ourselves to be experts on many topics. However, we always have a lot to learn. And we're learning from some amazing people at this summit who are more experienced than we are, but are teaching us as well as our ticket holders some awesome stuff. So every time I get a new video and I'm watching it just to, go over it, I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. Or I'm so excited to learn about this. So I think all of the classes really have a lot to offer people.
I also think that one that I've heard a lot about is the top dogs panel or the top pets of Instagram panel. Because that's the vision for a lot of people who start Instagram accounts for their pets is, okay, I want 100,000 followers. I want 1 million followers. And so we have people who are going to be on this panel who are considered the top pets of Instagram, and they're going to share their secrets with us. And I'm one of those people. I'm going to be like taking tons of notes the entire time. So I'm excited about that.
I'll be right there with you. There's always a lot to learn. I mean, I just, a lot of people think I know everything about Instagram, but I just took a workshop from someone, Courtney Lynn, who's, I know, teaching a session during the Pet Summit. She has a really great workshop about hashtags that I just did. And I learned a lot through it. So, it's important to be open-minded and, look at the schedule of talks, but maybe like go to something that you're not sure if you'll like, or you're not sure that it's like really your thing, because there's something to be learned from everyone. You guys, how many speakers do you have, by the way?
I would say at this point about 100.
Oh my gosh.
We're adding new ones almost every day. People reach out to us and they're like, can I talk about this topic? Or do you need help with this? So, even though we had our set list of what we wanted to talk about, we found ourselves adding so many different topics based on, requests.
That's really awesome. Is there like a keynote speaker as part of this summit? Even though it's a virtual summit, do you have a keynote speaker?
Okay, so we have Colleen from Pets on Q, who's going to be our keynote speaker. She sent us her video already, and we're so excited about it. So she's amazing. She has a great following. She knows what she's doing with social media, and she's also sharing tips and tricks of the trade.
Well, give us a little inside scoop. What's her talk about?
She's going to be talking about what it takes to get hired. And because she owns Pets on Q, she is on the agency side. So she has all of the insight on negotiating contracts, getting hired, making deals, working with brands again. So that's why we chose her to be our keynote speaker, because she really has a lot of experience with a lot of the influencers that you see every day on Instagram and TikTok. And we really trust her advice.
In all my years of going to like in-person conferences and summits and stuff, I've learned that the keynote speaker, like sometimes you look at them and you're like, oh, I'm not that interested in that. But I always learn the most and I get like the best experience because these people are experienced in giving talks and they're really motivational. And as a matter of fact, I actually started this podcast because of a keynote at Blog Pause a couple of years ago.
That's so awesome.
There was a guy who like wasn't even in the pet industry. I think he had a pet, but like that was it. And he was just like a marketing guru guy. And he had a podcast and he was really into like repurposing content and, you know, milking it for everything it's worth. And, and just his talk was so inspiring that I was like, yeah, I'm going to go home and I'm going to make a podcast and, you know, transcribe the episodes and turn them into blog posts and then take the quotes and turn them into social media posts and then do this and do that. And like, on and on and on and on and on. But yeah, I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for a keynote talk that I saw at a conference. So they're always like so worthwhile to watch.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that story.
Well, and like, I think you were probably at that Blog Pause.
Yep. I remember.
Do you remember that guy?
I do.
I couldn't even tell you his name. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. I know. But I learned so much from those people and, you know, every other conference that I go to, like the keynote speakers are always like, cause it's maybe not like a hands-on workshop where you're going to like take a lot of notes, but it's just like so inspiring. So yeah, that's something to look forward to for sure. Okay. Other things to look forward to are giveaways. So you guys have a lot of giveaways planned, it seems like, from the schedule. So tell us a little bit about that.
We have a lot of giveaways from some of our sponsors, from some brands who we have all worked with before in the past. We don't want to reveal exactly what they are right now because we want to get people a little excited about.
Everyone will just have to attend and watch live.
Exactly. We will be giving things away during all of our live segments over the course of the weekend. So you don't have to do anything additional to enter. You just have to buy your ticket and you're automatically entered to all of the giveaways. So you could win more than one. But the prizes are pretty massive. We have things for all different types of pets, you know, products, experiences. You know, you will want to win these prizes. Let's just put it that way.
So that's an added incentive to sign up and show up because you might win something, a mystery, really awesome, cool thing. I don't even know what it is. I'm like, we're not fooling you guys if you're listening to this right now. I don't know what it is either.
Yeah, our sponsors have put in a lot of work for the Pet Summit and helping us out and deciding to do these giveaways. And the prize packages really are like, I wish that I was eligible to win them. That is not a joke whatsoever. I'm like, dang, man, I need to go buy another ticket, you know?
Wait, are speakers eligible?
As speakers, we'll be eligible to win prizes as well.
Oh, good. Okay. Because you made me nervous there for a second.
All speakers and ticket holders and panelists will be entered to win automatically. So yeah, the only way you can win is if you attend.
All right. Well, that's some incentive. Okay. So that's all the fun stuff, the speakers, the giveaways, like the amazing community that everyone's going to be a part of, just the networking that you, like even virtually, you can network with all of these people and, you know, you'll kind of get like a front row ticket to see the biggest pet influencers on Instagram and get to know them. But we did kind of mention way at the beginning about rescues. And I know that as pet parents, animal rescue is something that's really important to all of us. And I know that you guys have a couple of rescue partners. How are you working with them?
So what we've done is take 4 rescues. Each of us chose a different rescue, and we will be donating a portion of all of our sponsorships and ticket sales divided amongst these 4 rescues. So the 4 rescues we're working with are Foster Dogs New York City, Global Strays, Animal Tracks, and Frosted Faces. And we've listed them on our website, so you can find out more information about what each of these organizations do. And we just wanted to find a way to give back because we're also passionate about animals, rescue, helping in different parts of the world, not just, a localized animal rescue. So it was really important to us to make this happen.
That's such a great list, too. Like you said, they are all over the world and helping pets all over the place in all kinds of different situations.
Definitely. It's important to give back locally, but also on a global scale. And because we have ticket holders, panelists, and speakers from all over the world, it's important for us to give back all over the world.
So this is like the Global Pet Summit.
It is. You wouldn't believe some of the countries we've had ticket sales coming in from. It's insane. We have quite a few from Australia. We have some from Africa, different countries in Asia.
That's so cool.
Yeah. We're excited.
Well, that's the cool thing about, even though 2020 sucks, that's the cool thing about doing everything virtually is that people from Australia can attend this Pet Influencer Summit, which otherwise they would never probably fly all the way over here to go to something.
Right. And the really cool thing is that you don't have to watch it live. We have quite a few people who actually work weekends and won't be able to attend it live, but every ticket holder is going to have 6 months access to watch all of the videos on their own time.
That's awesome. And like you said, there's 100 or so different speakers. So it would maybe be impossible to watch them all consecutively over the course of the weekend. So you can kind of pick a topic and split it up, dedicate each week to something different. That'd be kind of cool.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
You can spend your weekend binging the Pet Summit instead of binging Netflix. You'll have your library of videos to choose from.
Yeah, it's a good thing to binge. So where can people get tickets to this?
You can get tickets on thepetsummit.com. And we have a special promo code for anybody listening today. It is WWR15 for 15% off of your ticket.
Thank you, guys. That's so awesome. So WWR as in Wear, Wag, Repeat, WWR15. And I didn't really mention, but I'm going to be giving 2 talks during this.
Yes.
So one is about creating merch for your pet influencer brand. So maybe that's print-on-demand products, which I love. Maybe it's really cool stickers or different kind of swag. I'm going to be talking about all that kind of stuff. And I'm doing a second session about Pinterest and how you can use Pinterest to grow your pet brand online. I think that we all live and breathe and dream Instagram, but Pinterest is a really important place where I drive a lot of traffic to my blog. So I'm excited to talk about those 2 things.
I changed my mind. Those are the 2 classes I'm most excited about.
Chelsea, are you going into politics? Well, it was so much fun catching up with you guys and getting to know you, Paige. Tell everyone if they so they know where to find the Pet Summit, but where can they find both of you guys?
So my Instagram handle is puppy named Charlie.
And mine is Abby and Gunner.
Awesome. And I'll put all those links in the show notes for this. So if you're listening while you walk your dog, you can just go look that up later. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Tori.
Thank you.
What did you like most about this episode? Find me on Instagram at TMystic and let me know what intrigued you or what questions you have about starting or growing your own dog-inspired business. You can also screenshot this episode and tag me in your stories. I love to see who is listening out there. Some of the best conversations happen after the episode, right? So track me down over on Instagram or join the Wear, Wag, Repeat Labs Facebook group to connect with other dog-obsessed entrepreneurs. And as always, you can find all the links and resources discussed in this episode at wearwagrepeat.com/podcast. See you back here next week.